But Jay, I want everyone to see this again. It's public on your Facebook page, but harassment, intimidation is what comes to mind.
Yeah, listen to the video clip. Doesn't do it the justice. But what had happened was we had about 125 parents there, and they had all come to voice their concerns about the National Sex Educational Standard that 92 is adopting. Now, keep in mind that they are the only district within a 20-mile radius of where we live that actually adopted and started to implement it. And so when they had this open forum, I couldn't make it. Obviously, I've got my own campaign, and we're running now, and I'm helping out at We the Parents Illinois, which are covering about 5 school boards right now in 2 library districts in our area for candidates. And so she went there to record it. When you look at the video, you'll see that he walks around the room and literally rubs up on my wife into her phone. And she was just standing there quiet. In fact, I'll get you some pictures, but we have other people that were there that took side pictures so you can actually see.
Leaning in.
Well, yeah, basically.
Or leaning back.
Yeah, yep. And, it's unfortunate. They all talk about transparency, and you heard in the video, he said he'd be willing to meet with me. Well, you don't have to meet with us. Just let everybody see what you're talking about.
We're here.
We're here now. Yeah. Nothing to meet about. What are you going to tell me in private that you're not going to tell the rest of the people?
What was your wife's initial reaction when you got back home, or when she called you? What was her initial her gut instinct?
Well, my wife called me on the phone, and I was in the middle of a meeting with my slate, political campaign meeting, and she had told me what happened, and she was flustered, and she wasn't mad. She was nervous.
Uh-huh.
It scared her, but not like she felt that it was a threat. She was just upset that it happened. She felt that her rights as a taxpayer, as a parent, were infringed upon. And they were. And the outcry from people on social media, because I did make a post, I did share it with you. And if you wanted to see it, my social media name is J-Man. And go to it. And somebody's, I've made this public for people to see.
We'll share it. George, did you want to chime in?
I just wanted to say, from an audio perspective, it's plainly obvious she's not making any sort of disruption whatsoever. When you do hear her speak, she's right next to the camera, and she's not speaking very loudly, and you can hear very clearly. If there was anything going on there, even a rustling of the camera, you would have heard it.
That's right.
So this is just somebody watching a public meeting with a camera.
And you're allowed.
Completely legit.
You're allowed. That's Superintendent Tim Arnold, the District 92 in Homer Glen, in the village of Homer Glen. You get that kind of treatment all for $204,000 a year plus $32,000 in retirement benefits. So for $236,000, that's what the parents get to put up with.
Unbelievable. Steve, you would never tolerate that in your meetings, your government meetings, right? Could you imagine if someone on your board, and you're the majority leader, if someone on your board went up and brushed up against a constituent and blocked them from the meeting?
If they did, I'd ask them to retire.
That's right.
Actually, if they didn't retire, I'd tell them you're going to be terminated. And then we'd have to argue because they wouldn't quit, but we would go at it. That's totally not acceptable.
No.
No matter what, it's never acceptable.
And Mark, if I could add, what I think this comes down to is that our group of parents that have stood up over the past 2 years and decided to run for these school boards, a lot of people may or may not realize the school boards hire the superintendents.
That's right.
Or they fire them. These guys and these people that have been pushing this woke agenda on our children, okay, they're fighting for their lives right now. And, that school district right now, we pay 15 in 2019. The cost of the student to go to that district was $15,345 a year for K through 8. Now in 2022, it is up at $20,000, $461 for a K through 8 school. These guys, the corruption, it's got to come to an end.